The scorching summer sun mercilessly burned down on the film set of John Wick. In Brooklyn Heights, turning concrete walls into blazing ovens, the thermometer on the nearby building read 95 in the shade, while the open area felt even hotter. Workers constantly wiped sweat from their faces with towels and makeup. Artists frequently ran up to the actors to refresh their makeup. The air was thick with the smell of hot asphalt and the aroma of street food from nearby stalls, the scent of hot dogs and roasted chestnuts mixed with exhaust fumes from passing cars, creating a typical New York atmosphere. Cameramen carefully set up expensive equipment and assistant directors bustled about with shooting plans. Keanu Reeves had just finished a challenging scene when the director announced a long-awaited 1-hour lunch break. The heat-exhausted crew quickly dispersed, seeking relief in the shade or air-conditioned trailers. "Hey Keanu," one crew member called out to the actor. "We're heading to the new diner on Atlantic Avenue. Want to join us?" Keanu glanced at Daisy, the charming beagle who had appeared with him in several scenes. The dog was panting heavily from the heat, her long ears drooping and her usually lively, curious eyes showing clear discomfort. Noticing Daisy's condition, her usually shiny coat now dull from the heat, and her wet nose searching desperately for some moisture. "Welcome to Spa Stories, where the line between the known and the unknown fades, and the shadows whisper truths untold. Tonight, we delve into the primal connection between humans and animals, a bond forged in trust, sometimes fear, and always in mystery." In the scorching air, Keanu decided to decline his colleague's invitation. He had always had a soft spot for dogs, and seeing the beagle suffer was too much for him. "I think I'll take our little actress for a walk instead," he replied, heading toward the trainer for permission. His steps were light despite the exhaustion from long hours on set. The trainer, a lean man with a tablet tucked under his arm, hesitated at first. "Are you sure, Mr. Reeves? I can take care of Daisy myself," he offered. Keanu gently insisted, explaining that spending time with the dog would help him build a better bond for future scenes. After getting approval and the necessary items, a sleek leash, cleanup bags, and a collapsible silicone water bowl, Keanu set off with Daisy. The beagle trotted happily beside him, her tail wagging in rhythm with his steps. Their route led through the scorching streets of Brooklyn Heights, past trendy cafes and boutiques, until they reached a biker bar called Iron and Ash. The old sign and row of gleaming motorcycles outside stood in stark contrast to the surrounding modern establishments. Spotting a drinking fountain between the park bikes, Keanu decided to stop and give Daisy some much-needed water, while the dog eagerly lapped water from the collapsible bowl. Her long ears flopped comically in sync with her movements, and tiny droplets splashed around, creating miniature rainbows in the sunlight. A few drops landed on the chrome details of a nearby motorcycle, and its owner, a burly biker with a gray beard, smiled at the sight. He and a few of his companions displayed unexpected kindness, watching the beagle with genuine admiration. "Beautiful dog," commented one of them, a heavily tattooed man, "so small and graceful. I've always wanted a beagle myself." However, the peaceful moment was interrupted by a loud commotion at the bar entrance. A young waitress was trying to block the path of a group of aggressive bikers, citing a ban after a previous incident. The situation grew more tense by the second, but other bikers stepped in to defend the girl, forming a human shield between her and the troublemakers. Seeing Daisy flatten her ears at the loud voices, Keanu quickly led her away from the potentially dangerous scene. After a few minutes of walking, they found a cozy cafe with a shady veranda covered in wild grape vines and blooming wisteria. The clusters of purple flowers hung over the tables, filling the air with a sweet aroma. The wooden furniture was worn but clean, and each table had a small vase of wild flowers. A soft breeze played with the string lights strung above the tables, creating whimsical patterns of light and shadow on the wooden deck. A chalkboard at the entrance advertised daily specials in colorful writing, and in one corner of the veranda, a small decorative fountain gently burbled. Maggie, the waitress, with a warm smile and kind caramel-colored eyes, greeted the unusual pair of visitors. Her chestnut hair was neatly tied up in a bun, and her badge featured a small gold star, a sign of the Employee of the Month. She not only allowed Daisy to sit at the table, but also brought her a bowl of fresh water. Keanu ordered a steak sandwich for himself and a special dog treat for his four-legged companion while they waited for their order. Keanu pulled out the script, occasionally scratching Daisy behind the ears, making her blissfully squint. The peaceful atmosphere was abruptly broken by the arrival of a large biker in a leather vest. As he walked past their table, he sneered disdainfully and suddenly kicked little Daisy, muttering insults about annoying mutts. The frightened yelp of the dog echoed across the veranda. Keanu's reaction was instant. He jumped to his feet with lightning speed, his chair clattering backward, his usually calm eyes now burned with righteous anger. "What are you doing?" he demanded in a low, dangerous tone like thunder before a storm. The actor stood between Daisy and the aggressor, his stance clearly showing he was ready to protect the dog at any cost. The biker, caught off guard by the confrontation, hesitated for a moment but quickly regained his confidence. He spat on the floor and threw out a threat, promising they would both regret this day. Keanu noticed the distinctive emblem of a snarling tiger with extended claws on the man's vest, the same emblem he had seen on the troublemakers outside Iron and Ash. Once the situation had somewhat calmed down and Daisy stopped trembling, Keanu briefly left for the restroom, leaving the dog in the staff's care. A young waitress, Lila, who was filling in for Maggie, made a fatal mistake. She allowed an unfamiliar bearded man with a mohawk to offer Daisy a piece of sausage. When Keanu returned, he was horrified to find the beagle in distress. The dog was gasping for air, her eyes cloudy and her legs buckling. Without wasting a second, Keanu scooped Daisy into his arms. The small beagle felt unusually limp in his embrace. The actor dashed to the nearest veterinary clinic, asking passers-by for directions as he ran. Every second counted as he crossed block after block, clutching his four-legged friend to his chest. At the clinic, they were immediately attended to by Dr. Harper, an experienced veterinarian with kind eyes and confident hands. Without prompt intervention, this could have ended tragically, Dr. Harper explained while swiftly preparing the necessary medications for intensive care. Her hands moved with the precision honed over years of practice as she drew a clear liquid antidote into a syringe. "But we single quotes do everything we can to save Daisy. I have plenty of experience with beagles. They have an amazing will to live." While the veterinarians fought to save the little beagle's life, Keanu decided to take action. He called his old friend, Sheriff Hank Morrison, and detailed the situation. "Hank, I need your help," he said in a calm but firm voice. "There's a gang operating out of the Iron and Ash bar. They just tried to poison a dog. I'm sure they have DR drugs. We need to act fast." The plan was formed immediately. Not revenge but justice through the law. The police operation at Iron and Ash was carried out with lightning precision as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. Black and marked vans silently approached the bar from all sides. SWAT officers in full gear moved like shadows, taking positions around the building. Their movements were automatic, radios crackling with short command hands. The operation began with a signal, 3 short whistles, and the flash of a stun grenade. The door burst open with a powerful battering ram, and the SWAT team stormed inside like a well-oiled machine, the air filled with the smell of gunpowder and adrenaline. Inside, they found not only the gang members but also a large stash of drugs hidden behind a false wall in the storage room. One by one, the bikers exited with their hands up their faces, showing a mix of surprise and anger. The last one to be arrested was the same biker who had kicked Daisy. As he was let out in handcuffs, he locked eyes with Keanu, who had arrived to ensure the operation's success. "You know," Keanu said quietly but firmly, "there's a saying, don't mess with someone else's dog. This is real life and actions have consequences." Returning to the clinic, Keanu was relieved to hear from Dr. Harper that Daisy's condition had stabilized. "We've administered all the necessary antidotes," she reported, "and now she just needs time to recover." The movie's producer, upon learning of the incident, agreed to adjust the filming schedule to give Daisy the time she needed to heal. A week later, Daisy was fully recovered and returned to the set, greeted with cheers from the entire crew. Her coat gleamed once more and the playful sparkle was back in her eyes. Assistants decorated her trailer with colorful ribbons and balloons, and the chef prepared special dog-shaped biscuits for her. Even the toughest Members of the technical team couldn't help but smile as Daisy, wagging her tail, made her rounds on the set, accepting congratulations on her recovery. In the following scenes, viewers could sense a special bond between the actor and the dog, a result of their shared ordeal. Every time Keanu appeared, Daisy's ears perked up and her tail wagged happily. Their scenes together were especially emotional and genuine, as if imbued with an invisible thread of trust and affection. This story became yet another testament to the fact that Keanu Reeves doesn't just play heroes in movies, he's ready to defend justice in real life too, and little Daisy gained not just a co-star, but a true protector and friend. Every time their eyes met on set, her tail wagged happily, a silent reminder of the day when a man and a dog became more than just colleagues in a film. Remember, the next time you hear the rustle of leaves or feel unseen eyes watching, it could be more than just your imagination.